Emotional communication barriers are mental limitations that work to prevent you from openly talking about what you think as well as how you feel. Whether that be due to a lack of self awareness, emotional intelligence, or the current inability to process social cues. Not understanding how to overcome these barriers only work to harm you, your relationships, and whomever you may need or want to communicate with. For example, grief. Said to be the container that holds all emotions felt after loss, people feel emotions such as sadness due to their loved one no longer being present. They may experience other emotions, such as resentment, confusion, due to the possible sudden nature of a death. Fear, yearning, numbness, anxiety. Anger and frustration. For each emotion stated, there are specific solutions as to how to communicate. But for grief, especially the aggressive kind, the best thing to do is to give or have some alone time so one may be able to sort through their own thoughts and rough emotions. When the bereaved are ready and want company, they will go to those they want to. It's up to those people if they want to be and will make the effort to give support. But just as solitude is necessary, allowing oneself to express, communicate, and hopefully rely on those who want to support them are what allow for those in grief to move forward. Thus, to properly communicate with someone going through grief, the best way to do so is by being gracious, being understanding, having patience, as well as lending a listening ear. Psychological communication barriers may come in the form as something simple as one's own thoughts. Perceiving the world like it's constantly judging you, holding mistrust against everything around you, or even just not being in a good mood. When you experience these things, here are a few things you can do. If you're in a bad mood, communicating how you feel may help, but refrain from ranting. Or another solution may be stepping back from socialization until you calm down. If you feel like you can't trust anybody, that's a much deeper problem that needs more time to get better. But some ways to go about this is to observe someone before assuming they cannot be trusted. Taking the risk of trusting somebody and being forgiving towards yourself when you find that you've trusted the wrong person. Having the perception that people are constantly judging you may stem from your self-image and doubts you may experience. Some questions you may ask yourself. Who am I? What expectations do others have of me? Am I good enough? In regards to communicating with this mindset, having self-reflection as to why you think that of yourself and what people actually think of you are ways to negate it. Doing these things will help in avoiding psychological communication barriers. Language and semantics as communication barriers come in many forms. But in its simplest form, it may refer to a situation wherein one person lacks the ability to understand another's language. This may be due to being young, residing in another country or region that doesn't use that language, as well as growing up in an environment disconnected from society. The solution to this are to be bold enough to learn and place yourself in the proper environments to do so. Cultural communication barriers stem from the well-known fact that humans all across the globe have different meanings to their body language, different values, and different beliefs. For instance, a situation involving two friends. The first may be from abroad, taking a vacation to the Philippines, while the second may be a local. To avoid acting out of ignorance and possibly disrespecting Filipino culture, the first friend would take their time to research and educate themselves on the do's and don'ts when in a Filipino community.